Today we've got a fun one. We're driving this bad boy, the Tesla Model 3 Performance. Shout out to the team at Tesla Thousand Oaks. This is gonna be our extended test drive because I've not actually driven this Tesla Model 3 for a long time. I haven't driven it for past like a minute or two. The first time I drove it in a parking lot, shout out to the team at Unplugged Performance for letting me do that. But this time I'm gonna take it for a good 20 to 30 minutes and really get a feel for the suspension because I'm having some dangerous thoughts. I'm having dangerous thoughts in that maybe do I sell the Model X and get into a Model 3 Performance? The big thing I'm worried about, of course, is the suspension. But first, let's jump into it and see how this actually feels on this 20-minute drive. And I'm gonna try and take it onto the highway. I'm gonna try and take it through some roads to feel the bumpiness of it. But I'm kind of a little bit afraid of the comfortness, but let's get into it. Yeah, since this would be replacing my daily driver, or at least until the Cybertruck gets autopilot, we gotta make sure it's got enough space as well. You can see there's definitely a good amount of trunk in here. Look at that window sticker with the cat on it, love it. And so this would be perfect. You could fit like golf gloves, or more importantly, you could fit a pickleball set in here. Looking at the rear of the Tesla Model 3, we've got this beautiful white interior and decent amount of space, but this is not gonna be our family hauler at all. That's what we got the Cybertruck for. So let's get into it. First thoughts though, this is definitely a massive departure from the Model X. It's way different, but I gotta give it to it. The seats are phenomenal. Minimal dash, everything seems up close. And of course, the trunk also seems very short as well. Let's stop wasting any of the time. Let's do some drives and get into this before we run out of time. All right, so first we gotta make sure everything is set. Got the mirrors. These seats though, phenomenal, 100%. This is the way to go. I feel like I'm sitting on like a super nice plush couch that's hugging me, like really gripping me to the sides of this. This is phenomenal. And this steering wheel, it's thick. I like it. And I guess I haven't really had a round steering wheel in a long time. So this is pretty fun. But going to the dynamics, we're gonna set this to, I guess we'll set it to insane. In terms of suspension, I'm not gonna set it to sport though. I like the comfiness of it, so I'm gonna set it to standard because this would be a daily driver replacing the Model X. And then steering wheel, I like actually light, and so of course some of you might not like that I like light, but this is not a spirited drive. This is a daily drive as if I was gonna drive this on like the highway. But that's a decent acceleration right there. It just went up to 45 to 50 miles an hour. I can definitely feel the bumps a lot more on this than the Model X, but that's expected, right? Because this does not have air suspension, but I feel like this is like a toy, which could be really good if like you're gonna be daily driving this. I'm gonna zip around, I can beat everybody around. The Model X is great, but sometimes it just feels a little bit like a big boat, whereas this would be a fun daily driver that I could just throw on everywhere and be able to beat anybody off the line if I'm trying to beat and get to like highway exits or anything like that. But just making a turn right here, I'm about to get onto the highway. I'm trying to hit every single bump as I can to really feel what this is like. And this is not the highway area. Okay, well, I'm in a parking lot right now, so let me hit this bump. It's not bad. It's actually not bad. If I were to say like the Model X is like 100% of comfortness, like just rating it from 0 to 10, then this is about like a 7 or 8. Like it's doable actually. Okay, so I thought I was getting on the highway. Okay, it actually feels really good when you get to certain speeds and it hits those bumps. It actually like maybe like the suspension, because it is adaptive, it's adjusting a good amount right now. But holy crap, I can take this turn like nobody's business. So I'm definitely not, and that's kind of the fun part. Like I was thinking about this, like we already have the Cybertruck, and on the weekends or even road trips, that is the vehicle we'll be taking wherever we want to go. But if I just wanted to like drive around by myself, or even maybe some track days, like maybe that's the move as well. Maybe we start a different segment where we actually try and track a Model 3 Performance and see what times we can get. And go through that, because, you know, who doesn't like going to a good track day at Buttonwillow or anything like that? And maybe this is the perfect car to do that, because Cybertruck, you could do that, but probably not the best. And of course, Model X, you are definitely not doing that at all. But I gotta say, I think I could replace the Model X with this. I think I could be able to do it, because this is just planted. All right, so getting back on the highway again. Got a nice right turn. Oh shit! And we hit the limiter already, because of course this is a test drive. It is limited at 85 miles an hour, but I gotta say, this is nice and comfy. Let me roll back the seat a little bit. Let's get more comfortable. I mean, I was doing a lot of searching, and a lot of people think like, oh, do we get this, a Model S, or do you get a Model 3 Performance? And this is almost there. Of course, if you want the most comfortable vehicle out there, then a Model S long range would be your best bet with air suspension, but this is getting pretty close, and I don't actually mind this, and this is actually super livable. And now if you wanted a Model S as like your daily driver plus family hauler plus road trip vehicle, then yeah, I could easily see that making the most sense. But if you're going through a 2-car system, why not have a super fun car, a weekend car, or a daily drive car that can go super fast, and also have a big vehicle for road trips and anything like that. But I think what sells this vehicle is definitely the seats, better suspension, and of course the 0 to 60 in a whopping and insane 2.9 seconds that you're gonna beat everybody and anybody off of the line. And that's what's so usable about Tesla vehicles and electric vehicles. Like, let's say I wanna go into this lane and there's 3 cars ahead of it, I just pump it, and I'm ready to go, and I'm already in that lane. The fun part of this is I'm gonna get right back into my Model X. We'll see that distinct contrast between a Model 3 Performance, even though it's an upgraded suspension, versus the Model X with the air suspension. Of course, it is more comfortable than a Model S. So now the moment of truth. Just getting into my Model X now to feel the difference in the suspension, and interesting, because the Model X definitely rides higher, so I can tell immediately from the ride height that this is a more comfortable vehicle. But air suspension, it's like only marginally better and more marginally comfort. Like, I think I will be sticking to what I said, where like if the Model X was 100% or 10 out of 10 comfort level, then the Model 3 Performance is like a good 7 or 8. But just accelerating right now off the line, that's where I really feel the difference. That Model 3 just punches and launches, whereas the Model X, you know, a little sluggish and a little boatish feeling. But I'm going through all these little micro bumps right now, and I'm still feeling about the same micro bumps. So I mean, it's a little bit better. I got, you know, it is better. I can't say that the Air Model X is not a comfier vehicle, but it is interesting to go back and forth between a Model 3 Performance and a Model X. So the question is, do we sell this Model X for a Model 3 Performance? I guess we'll wait and see if the deals get better, and if it's a deal where I cannot decline at the end of the day. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit that like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.